Our buddy Chris Sims, a little fuse on a radio appearance in Dallas earlier this week, and there's a lot of talk now about what's going on with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys and what Dak wants and what the Cowboys want to pay him. And look, I'm going to put it all in a nutshell, and I wrote the item at PFT yesterday at a time when there's reports and counter reports and this is right and this is wrong and whatever. Look, none of it matters right now. None of it matters. Stephen Jones, the Cowboys COO, told me 2 weeks ago, July 15 is the deadline. Nobody is moving anywhere close to their bottom line position until we get toward July 15. Anything now is just talk. And really, here's what's going to happen. Memorial Day this weekend, Independence Day coming up early July, the 4th, I think it is. I don't know. I may be misremembering. But after that, that's when, I'm kidding. That's when the window opens on getting this deal done. After the 4th of July, everyone will focus on getting the Dak Prescott deal done, and that's when people start moving toward their bottom line. And here's the thing to keep in mind, Big Cat. It's not about what the quarterback market is. It's not about what Dak Prescott is worth. It's not about what anyone else is making or what anyone else will be making. Here's what it comes down to. Dak Prescott has, right now, the ability to make $31.4 million this year, $37.68 million next year under the rules of the franchise tag. And then for 2022, it's the Kirk Cousins dilemma. $54 million is what the Cowboys would have to offer him to tag him again, or $45 million if they use the transition tag, which is the right to match but no compensation, or you let him walk away. That's what his rights are right now. He's got the Kirk Cousins with much more money at play than Cousins had. Cousins had 20 and 24. Prescott has 31 and 37 and the promise of 54 or 45. What does it take to get him to trade that in? That's what it is. It's like, that's his car. His car is this $69 million machine plus the chance to become a free agent in 2 years. What will it take for the Cowboys to get him to say, I'll sign your contract instead of doing what I have the right to do? And that means it's going to be a crap load, and I almost said a different word than crap load of money for him to sign away his rights under the franchise tag. It's that simple. It's going to be a gigantic contract because otherwise he just goes year to year.
Okay, Mike, but here's my only question with this entire negotiation. Don't you think that the Cowboys, having it go on this long, and again, you said that there's going to be a deadline of July 15th, so it hasn't gone all the way to the end. But the fact that we're still talking about Dak Prescott not having a new deal says everything about what the Cowboys think about Dak Prescott. And in that, I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he's not. If this was Patrick Mahomes, the deal would have been done. It's not the no-doubter guy. It's not the guy that says, whatever you want, we will pay because you are our quarterback for the next decade. And I think that's just the interesting aspect here where they could sign him tomorrow, but I will still in the back of my head say the Cowboys and Dak Prescott couldn't get a deal done right away, which kind of tells me what they think about Dak Prescott.
See, I disagree with you. I think what happened was when the window opened on a second contract for Dak Prescott after the conclusion of the 2018 regular season, third season for any player, regular season ends, that's when you can sign him to a new contract. Even if you're in the playoffs, you can sign him that week before the first playoff game to a new contract. And that's what the Cowboys should have done. Make him an offer he can't refuse then because, and so what they always thought was he's point. Eventually going to, they thought he'll eventually come around and he'll take a team-friendly deal. And we'll just wait and he'll take a team-friendly deal. What they didn't count on is Dak Prescott working with his agents at CAA and looking at this as a business proposition and saying, wait a minute. The longer I wait and the more games that I get through without a serious injury, the injury risk goes to them. The injury risk leaves me. So once he gets through that full fourth year of his contract, and now he's got no contract. He's got $31.4 million this year. The guy made $2 million last year. $31.4 million for 1 year of football. He gets through this season healthy, it's another $37 million. So this isn't about now, Russell Wilson's making 35 and Aaron Rodgers is making 32. No, this is about Dak Prescott's going to make $69.08 million over the next 2 years if he goes year to year. The Cowboys have to offer him something that gets him to say, I'll give up my ability to make $69 million over 2 years. By waiting for him to do a team-friendly deal, they have backed themselves into a corner where he can dictate the terms now. And the only way they're going to get him signed is to give him something that gets him to say, okay, fine, I'll give up $69 million plus a chance to become a free agent in 2022.
But that's still my point. I think Dak Prescott is, in some circles, people are saying Dak Prescott should, and the whole highest paid quarterback thing is kind of silly because it's a lot of times it's whoever's up next. But my point still remains. Dak Prescott is not a no-doubter. Here's a blank check. Whatever you want, we will sign it. And it hasn't been for the last 2 years. And that's my point, is that it kind of lingers in the back of my head saying Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. But if he were a no-doubter, franchise, Super Bowl winning quarterback type of guy, this would have been done a long time ago. And even still would have been done like this year, even if he didn't do it 2 years ago.
Then why did they apply the franchise tag? Then why did they apply a franchise tag? And why did Stephen Jones tell me 2 weeks ago they will absolutely not rescind the franchise tag if they don't get a deal done by July 15?
Well,
See,
because you don't want to, obviously, you don't want to let an asset just walk away. But you don't agree that if Dak Prescott was the guy that if he was Patrick Mahomes, there will not be this with Patrick Mahomes. No chance.
Time out. Watch and learn, Big Cat. I'm going to give you an advanced education on how the NFL actually works financially. There's 2 levels of the franchise tag. They chose the highest possible level. They could have gone the base franchise tag of about $26 million. And the math that I was talking about earlier, if you're starting at 26 versus 31.4, the numbers change dramatically, right? They could have said, well, you know what, we're not sure about Dak, but if there's somebody else out there that really wants to pay him a hell of a lot more money than we will, we'll take 2 first-round picks as compensation for Dak Prescott under the rules of the base non-exclusive franchise tag. They went exclusive. They went high-end. They went Cadillac. So they may not think he's a Cadillac, but they've activated the Cadillac franchise tag. That's what I can't reconcile. I don't disagree with you. This isn't Patrick Mahomes. This isn't a guy who's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's probably not even in the top 3 or 4 right now, maybe not the top 5. But when they activate the highest level franchise tag, they are stepping into that mess. And now they're stuck. Now they're stuck unless they say, after July 15, if we don't do a long-term deal, we're rescinding the franchise tag. That's their only play at this point, and Stephen Jones has already told me they will absolutely not do that.
So what happens with the Cadillac franchise tag if someone wants to trade for him? So what's the difference? Why would they? What's the benefit of doing the pricier franchise tag?
Because he never gets out. He can't go. It's never an issue of another team trying to sign him. See, I have no idea what the open market would bear for Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott had become an unrestricted free agent in March of this year with Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees, technically a free agent, and all the other guys who were around, what would someone have paid him? Would someone have given him 35, 36, 37 million a year? Probably
I don't think
not.
So. Right.
And I'll tell you what, and the fact that they're voluntarily giving up their nuclear option is stunning to me because, Big Cat, if this is how, let's say it would play out this way. July 15 comes and goes. There's no long-term deal done. That means they can't do anything more than a 1-year deal this year. And then Dak Prescott, under the rules of the tag, exercises his prerogative to stay away from training camp in the preseason like Le'Veon Bell did in 2017 with the Steelers. If the Cowboys remove the franchise tag from Dak Prescott at any point after July 15, hell, if they would do it now, what the hell's he getting from someone else? Is someone else going to give him $30 million a year, much less $35 million a year? Hell no. Everybody's got their quarterbacks. If they would remove that franchise tag from him right now and say, we're going to go sign Cam Newton, he would be screwed. And that's why I was amazed 2 weeks ago when Stephen Jones said, we're not going to ever rescind the franchise tag. They need to make him think that they would. That's the only way to get him to bargain away from his, I'll just take my $69 million over the next 2 years because their response would be not so fast. You may not get $31.4 million this year because we may rescind the tender.
Okay, you helped me a little there. My point still stands that he's obviously not worth the whatever you want, give it to him money and that type of quarterback. But I appreciate you teaching me about this. This is actually similar to like the plot of Good Will Hunting, except you're the caterer who's teaching the diner something nice and new about math because you got your caterer shirt on. And that is I'm saying that because you said, let me teach you something. So that was a tit for tat. That's what they say.
Let me just say this. If you're going to make a reference to a movie from the early 1990s, my only response to you is this. Okay, boomer. Next up, why Tom Brady could be more like Vince Lombardi than Michael Jordan. What's more likely is next right here on Pro Football Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights From NBC Sports.